Yeah, happy voting day to everyone up in
Yeah.
constituency 36. Yeah, big up to you all. But let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
What makes you proud to be Bermudian? What makes you proud to Bermudian? And I think, look, I say it all the time. We do Friday Fun Day. I love Friday Fun Day because, this is a news talk show and we discuss some pretty serious things.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that we can't have fun and let our hair, well, not my hair, but Mia's got the hair, but let your hair down as we enter the weekend. And as much as that's wrong, especially politically or economically in Bermuda, we have so much to be grateful for, thankful for, and so much to enjoy. So I'm proud of today's topic, Mia. Thank you for it. And what makes you proud to be Bermudian? I think we should probably put B in the question there. But what
Yeah.
makes you proud to be Bermudian?
Proud
What
to be Bermudian. Yeah.
Yeah, what makes you proud to be? What would you say, Mia?
Well, I've been really entrenched in a lot of the arts recently, and it's been really making me reflect on my own journey as a Bermudian creative.
Mhm.
Um, I was just saying to you and Taya before we got on the air last night, I went to Melanie Eddy's jewelry opening at the National Gallery.
Mhm.
And she, for those of you who don't know, she's a Bermudian and she is a famous, now a globally famous jeweler. She has her, the Victoria and Albert Art Museum. They have actually purchased a permanent pieces of hers. So she has her display plus sketches up.
Mhm.
Um, and she's like, I went to school with her brother. She's only a little bit older than me.
Mhm.
And just going there and seeing everything that she's accomplished, but also seeing what was her inspiration was her grandparents. So she was actually she's an Edness. So she was her roots are based on living next door, just behind the quarry of her grandparents. So all of her jewelry is all looks like limestone cuttings. It's
Mhm.
so beautiful. And
No.
she's like really, and I saw a picture of her grandmother and I remember her picking them up from school. And it just like we're just so connected. And it really made me reflect on that last night, like how from kids we're all connected to each other as Remedians on this really small little rock. We're
Yeah.
all part of each other's lives. And it makes me really proud to be from here. And
Yeah.
it made me cry last night. She was crying. Everyone was crying, it was a big moment, you
I
know.
think what you just explained is being able to celebrate one another in such a small community is something to be proud of. Like, I'll use politics. One of the things that I makes me proud is that we're so close to our politicians, meaning we have access to them whether we believe it or not, whether we take advantage of it or not. Is I'm proud that those Bermudians who do take advantage of that. I'm
Yeah.
proud that we're able to show up for people and like you did last night and celebrate them and honor them. Audience, what are your thoughts? Like, what makes you proud to be Bermudian? What makes you proud to be Bermudian? Like, you know what? I am happy. I'll be honest. I've met a lot of new people recently, right?
Yeah.
Over the last 2 to 3 years, I've met a lot of new people, and one of the first things people say
Mhm.
from Bermuda. Yeah, I've never met anyone from Bermuda.
I've never met a Bermudian. Yeah.
I would always respond, "There's not many of us."
No, there isn't.
I
There.
said, and I have a running joke with like my Jamaican friends. I'm like, man, everywhere I used to go as a child, I would meet a Jamaican. Like Jamaicans, I said, you are proud people wherever I used to not envy, but be like, wow, like these are the proudest group of people I've ever met. Go to Canada, Rhode Island, like Barcelona, anywhere you went, you'd be able to meet. I said, Bermudians are finally, I mean, I shouldn't say finally, but we're in that space now where you can almost meet a Bermudian anywhere. And that's part of the globe opening up, but also more Bermudians leaving Bermuda. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but it makes me proud to be Bermudian that we're so few.
Yes, me too.
It makes me feel like we have this uniqueness about us.
I
I'm very proud of that. Another thing that makes me proud to be Bermudian is the way we celebrate people like a Shiona Turini. You've got people who've never even met her, right? And like will go online and just be like, oh, she's one of us. They'll share the article. The way we celebrate Bermudians who make it in industries outside Bermuda, because we understand
Yeah.
it's so few of us. So for
Yes.
one of us to make it, it's like we all made it, right?
It is. And I think it's really special because Bermuda is actually such an incredible place as a creative to
Mhm,
really kind of sow your seeds, so to speak. I started singing. I did my first Department of Tourism video when I was 7 years old.
mhm,
Then I was in the Learn-A-Lots. Then, I've just done a ton of different things. And then I went overseas and, had a really great, successful career as a
mhm,
musician, but I have to say, I don't think Bermuda gives itself enough credit for what a creative platform it
mhm,
is. And also that we as a community do really rally around and
mhm,
support people and give people opportunities to perform and
mhm.
to really hone their craft.
Yeah.
And Bermuda is so inspiring, just as a place. So like the community, the Bermudians, the nature, just everything about Bermuda is just so inspiring. And I think it's hard to, when you're from here, you don't really, I don't want to say you take it for granted, but it's just your home, so it's just where you're from.
I
But
think that's most
yeah,
people in most places, though. I think
yeah.
most people take for granted what they have. But audience, you're quiet this morning. Are we not proud to be Bermudian? No,
Okay,
seriously, I'm going to ask you another question. What
okay.
part of Bermuda are you from? This will determine why people ain't proud. Because if you're from Somerset during cup match, I get why you're not proud to be Bermudian.
This is me, Jamel. Somerset forever.
Oh, right, you're one of those people.
I am. Well, I'm a West End girl. I'm from Southampton. My
Uh,
family is from the Southampton area, from St. Anne's Road. That's where I grew up. My grandparents grew up right next door to me. I actually grew up in my great grandmother's house, so that was really special. So I'm a proud West End Southampton girl,
mm,
Somerset supporter.
mm. So it took you guys long to get to the airport. Okay, yeah, no.
Hey, I don't mind that. We're close to all the beautiful beaches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll,
And
we'll, we'll give that to you. Audience, let us know what part of Bermuda are you from. And again, Friday Fun Day brought to you by our friends at Mailboxes. Again, if you want 2 years of free membership, go to mailboxes.bm/the daily hour, courtesy of our partnership. It is Friday Fun Day. What makes you proud to be Bermudian? And we've got the Grinch joining us this morning. Look at that. Let's go to the audience. David Michael Wilson says, my accent makes me proud to be a Bermudian. Always got folks guessing, and I'm a white, if I'm white or non-local. Interesting. If I'm
ooh,
white or non-local.
ooh,
Um, he goes on to say, I also have to agree with our connectedness. Sorry, we can be anywhere and just recognize each other and feel instantly connected. Yeah. And he
like,
says he's from Sinky Bay, Southampton, West Bermuda. All right, Southampton's in the
yes,
house.
David.
Where you from? We've got two Southamptons in the house. Where is everyone else from? But also, what makes you proud to be Bermudian? Like, again, we've got a by-election today. It's been very hot this week in Bermuda. I mean, people are up and people have very strong political opinions, myself included.
Mhm.
But what gives you ease? What makes you proud? I mean, the cost of living's high,
Yeah,
right? People are concerned about the utilities bills,
yeah.
the cost of groceries. We know all that stuff. But through it all, there's still some things to be grateful for. There's things to be thankful for, and there are things to celebrate and honor. What are those things to you? What makes you proud to be Bermudian? Of all that goes on in Bermuda, there's got to be something.
There's so many things. Well, I also went to then watched some of the dress rehearsal for the Magic of Musicals too. So the Gilbert and Sullivan production. So I was involved in that as a kid. And speaking of Shiona, I actually wrote this down. So I did the production of Annie, and in that production was myself, Shiona Turini, Rebecca Falconberry. So she's been on Broadway like loads. Rebecca Singleton from Tabs, Jessica Frith, and there's just like a big cast of all these young Bermudians. And Gilbert and Sullivan, by the way, is completely free. You can sign your kids up, and they do a production every October. They obviously run the show based on the ticket sales, of course, and they bring in these like high caliber, like West End or Broadway producers that come down and work with like kids and you know actors, Bermudian actors, and you get to put on this like world class production. So as a kid, I was really involved in that, and those were some of my peers that were like, we were all like, 8, 9, and 10 years old. And when I left this Magic and Musicals too, I looked on the stage and it was just full of all our Bermudian kids who were all getting this experience. And it just made my heart like so full that there's still this outlet for kids in Bermuda to have this world-class theater experience. Totally just based on people need to go and support, buy tickets. There's Magic and Musicals too. And that's another amazing, like the access and the connectivity is just unreal in Bermuda. You don't know it as a kid. It's like totally normal, but it's not normal. It's not normal.
The audience, we asked people, where are you from and what makes you proud to be Bermudian? Where are you from? Karen Simmons says Bayless Bay, Hamilton Parish, but strongly connected with Roberts Avenue, Devonshire. All right, there we go. Suzanne Ingham says, born and raised, born on Flats Hill, the best. All right.
All right, Suzanne.
We got Flats, pink and green during the summer for cricket. We've got Renee Simmons, city girl, Pembroke, city boy, Pembroke. I got you, Renee. Don't worry. But what makes you proud to be Bermudian? We know where you're from. What makes you so proud to be Bermudian? Rosalind Famous says, hearing from visitors who return to the island dozens of times and still love the island. You know why I love this?
That's awesome.
Because as much as Bermuda has evolved, there are still people who have that connection and love even how it has evolved. Obviously, living there, it's different. But being able to come back, they're not expecting the same Bermuda they got in the 70s or 80s or 90s, right? Because the places they live are not the same. But knowing that they've connected to our island, our Bermuda, our homeland, it does give you great appreciation and things to be proud of,
Yeah, absolutely. Jamel, where are you from on the island?
I just said Pembroke, city boy.
I got you. But where in Pembroke?
Marsh Valley, baby.
Okay.
Because Teo left the hood before me. I'm just saying, he went out to the burbs before me. I'm just saying he got scared. He fell in that pond. He's like, nope, my toes are starting to shrink from the water, and so he left. Nah.
And do you also consider yourself a pond dog?
Oh, I am. Yeah, that's what they say.
Oh my God, more magic water. See, that's what we're talking about before.
I was that when those guys would go down the dump from my side, I didn't really favor. I wasn't the kid that went out with them a lot.
Okay.
It wasn't my thing. I used to go down the desert. You know what the desert is?
No.
So the desert is across the street from Victor Scott Field. So kind of where Theo used to live. And I used to go play football and stuff. And now it's pretty much a part of the dump. It's been extended over that side. But yeah, man, we had a time. And look, what would I say? The only problem we had is inhaling all you lots. That's the only problem we had. You know what I'm saying? All right. Controversy Land. Why is Teray doing this today? Talking about he's from Controversy Land.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I forgot about that, Teray. Well, bringing it back. Him and Teo, neighbors, 5 and 6.
Friday Fun Day.
And 5B, Controversy Lane.
We're not doing that today. Rosalind Famous is from Devonshire. She said, Teo Dill says, that's fair. I left the hood when I was 11 or so. See, he left us because his toes were shrinking from the water. I get it. Dwayne Nolan says, Neptune Hill, Smiths Parish, but I tell you that I own/claim all of Bermuda. I love that.
Me too.
I love that. It's interesting because we were discussing before the show, Teo, Mia, and I, so how do you say where you're from? Because there are some people who grew up places but live other places and they claim that place. But Bermuda's so small, man. It's all of us. And that's why the question is so relevant this morning. Like, what makes you proud to be Bermudian? It's so much. I always start with the people, man. Most of you probably don't like me because of things I say, and I'm fine with that. But I love the fact that we can actually still cross each other and without harm. And you got people in certain parts of the world where there's issues, there's immediate violence, right?
Yeah.
There's issues, they can't cross paths. I would like to say, there's a very small number of people who, feel like they can't go certain places in Bermuda and so on. Hopefully those days are almost over.
I hope so too.
Hopefully those days are almost over. But I really, really hope that you know, with all that goes on in Bermuda, I'll use Mia as an example, Mia and Sanja. What makes me proud to be Bermudian, and I'm not saying that you guys are, doing as great as you probably want to be, but it makes me proud to know that you can be entrepreneurs and have your own businesses without the problems that people have in other places. Is it exactly perfect? Probably not. But I can guarantee you, you're not paying as many taxes as there are in like places like the U.S. and don't have to go through the loopholes. I know people in Bermuda complain about red tape a lot, folks. There's red tape everywhere. So that makes me proud to be Bermudian, to see the amount of people I know being able to express themselves as entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and it makes me proud to be able to hire other Bermudians.
Yeah.
That so much. That makes me so proud, like as a business owner, to be able to have a really amazing dynamic team of under 30-year-old Bermudians. Like it's actually really amazing. And that's like a huge part of like our business ethos.
Yeah.
Have, that's a really big part of it, which is really exciting.
Yeah, let's bring Tayo Dillon for the Daily Hour News Break. We'll continue the conversation after the break. See what Mr. Suburban Man's got to say.
Hey, Mia. Now look, that was disrespectful because you just admitted to being one of them bougie ones in the hood that didn't go search in the dump for supplies and toys and all that.
Yeah.
You weren't the guy climbing, unlike me, the stacks of newspapers that were next to the stacks of old mattresses and jumping from one to the other and coming home smelling like pee.
Yeah.
You weren't the guy that fell into the pond because you weren't quite old enough to make it over when you tried to jump, landed on top of pumpkin, hurt your bum, had to go back home.
Yeah.
So you don't know about all that.
I would.
Poor dog. That's me. That's what
I
I'm
would
saying.
see with my grandpa with binoculars look at that too. Yeah, that was me. I went down there probably like once or twice with guys, and I'm just like, it felt like quicksand going down on the dump and stuff.
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah, no, seriously, it felt like you were gonna sink in there. It was just strange.
It was dope. It was exciting.
Yeah,
it sounds like a dream as a kid. Like that sounds dreamy.
Yeah,
I came home with a basketball backboard, rim, pole, and ball for free. Nothing wrong with it.
You used to
amazing.
Yeah. We had some advantage, but Mia, I was negotiating back then. You'd be like, yo, you want to get me something while you're down there, bro? What?
I give you my grandpa's binoculars.
Yeah. You ain't gotta work. Watching my uncle go down there and race his bikes down on there from the house.
Wow.
Hey, look, uncle. Come home with what they say, road rash. He probably come here with dump rash and stuff. Yeah.
Man, you was a peeping Tom back then. Yeah, I never knew.
Binoculars, man. We used to look down there all the time. And I remember like everybody thought of scrambling on Coney Island, but in our hood, everybody just went down the dump and made their own track.
Exactly.
Do people still do that?
I don't know.
I think it's really possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's changed now down there. But what gotta ask you though before you jump in your news? What makes you proud to be Bermudian, man?
Now, Mia hit it, and I'm glad to be able to reassert what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Bermuda is a very, very, very like extraordinarily small place. There's a fraction of Bermudians that exist on the planet, and this has always been the case. And yet, we outperform the statistical likelihoods as far as excellence in so many categories. It's crazy. Like, it doesn't make sense. Now, no shade to our Caribbean cousins, because they got things that they do amazingly well. But if you compare like the artistic output from our place as far as like global reach, global impact, it doesn't even come close. And it doesn't make sense, right? Because like statistically, it's like having a single small town in like upstate New York that put a bunch of people on Broadway consistently, that put a bunch of people working on record labels consistently. Like, for real, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right. But this is what we have been accustomed to. This has always been the case.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it is. I don't know what makes us this way, but I know that we should remember that we are this way.
Yeah.
Because it's real easy to forget because, things are hard. You get frustrated, blah, blah, blah. Like, we are special people.
I agree.
We show it to the world all the time.